Armenia, widely regarded as one of the cradles of civilization, a nation with a wealth of culture and ancient antiquities, and no one would deny a long and volatile history. Landlocked between the Black and Caspian Seas, it's the smallest of the former Soviet states, and is said to be the first country in the world to adopt Christianity as its official religion. It's had a troubled past. Its strategic position on the Silk Route. Last year, around 500,000 tourists visited the capital, Yerevan, and surrounding countryside.
I want to see in Yerevan a luxury tourist base with fancy hotels and infrastructure, nice restaurants, city centers, couple of centers where tourists could spend money and time. And the outside of the country, making all the heritage accessible. You know, as a benchmark, I would like to see Armenia somewhere nearer to Switzerland.
There's no doubt that the country has some unique and distinctive attractions. The official language, Armenian, has its own alphabet. Many people in the capital also speak Russian and English. And Yerevan itself has a strong cultural heritage. There are museums, theatres, and an opera house. The National Art Gallery houses collections by top European and Russian artists. And the Institute of Ancient Manuscripts holds one of the largest collections of historical and religious parchments in the world. Many Armenians live here in the capital, but there are also large communities who live outside the country, mainly in Russia and the United States. And there are many famous faces that you may not realize are of Armenian descent, including the singer Cher, the tennis player Andre Agassi, Alain Prost of Formula One racing fame, and Garry Kasparov, the chess champion. All of them have their roots here. Perhaps typical of the region is the big issue of politics. Its borders with Azerbaijan and Turkey are closed due to ongoing disputes. There's been much conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh, the mainly Armenian-populated region inside Azerbaijan. A full-scale war broke out in 1991 as ethnic Armenians fought for independence, but there still seems to be no long-term solution. Another dominant issue is the strained relations with Turkey. During World War I, around 1 million Armenians were killed by the Ottoman Turks. Armenia wants Turkey and the rest of the world to officially recognize it as genocide. But Turkey strongly denies this. Religion plays a big part in people's lives, with nearly 95% of Armenians describing themselves as Christian. Yerevan itself nestles under the imposing snow-capped Mount Ararat, said to be where Noah's Ark came to rest after the flood. The mountain is now technically in Turkey, but is still regarded by Armenians as a symbol of their land. A huge building program is taking place in the city. There are 5-star hotels, restaurants, cafes, shops, and a new terminal was opened at the international airport last summer, where there are direct flights from Europe. But some say there's still a lot more the government could be doing.
We need more efforts to promoting Armenia as a destination for tourism and find more and more people, more partners outside of Armenia who are interested to bring tourists here.
In the countryside, there's stunning scenery with mountains, hot springs, caves, and even a ski resort.
I think it's a beautiful country. In Armenia, in an hour or two, you can go see some very unique places, be it hiking in the mountains or go to Dilijanambian Forest, or go see fascinating monasteries.
It's really nice country, wonderful landscape, people are really nice, so we like this trip. Yeah.
The history, I think. It's preserved a lot of history. The religious sense just fascinates me a lot about, you know, the mountain chain. It just has this sense of depth.
Armenia is a very beautiful country, but the economic is not so developed as the other European countries. But here we can see a lot of natural things. I like it very much.
Lake Sevan is a popular tourist attraction and is one of the largest mountain lakes in the world. There are hotels, restaurants and man-made beaches. But there are environmental issues. There's been a dramatic drop in the water level since the lake was drained for hydroelectricity and irrigation. Despite this, its shores are an important breeding ground for birds, many migrating from Eastern Europe to Africa, and there are over 1,000 different species of plants. There's also concern about deforestation. In a controversial move, the government recently gave the go-ahead for a vast open-pit copper mine in the rural north of the country. Not everyone's happy with the decision.
If most of these mining sites will be open, it will create a lot of problem for, as I mentioned, for people and for nature, destroying landscapes, destroying habitat of many globally threatened species, and destroying nature and polluting rivers and underground water, which is used for agriculture. It will bring a lot of problem for health of people as well.
Despite its difficult past, many say the challenge for Armenia's future is to balance a growing economy with stability, and to make sure the country's environment, along with its ancient cultural and architectural heritage, is preserved not only for visitors from around the world, but also for future generations of Armenians.